Andrea, thank you. I am Andrea. I'm Andrea Mathis. And I'm here to talk to you about how to live a happy, healthy, imperfect life. Oops, wrong green button. There we go. Nothing to disclose. I am the creator of Imperfect Life, which is a philosophy and methodology that encourages people to let go of perfection in order to live a happy and healthy lifestyle. A little bit about myself. When I was 7 years old, I remember sitting on one of those igloo playground structures with some of the other little 7-year-olds from my second grade class when Kara Smith announced to the other little 7-year-olds that I was at her house that weekend for her birthday party, and I popped her waterbed. Right? Yeah. Now, we all know that that's physically not possible, but that was the first time in my life that I realized my body was different from all of the other little 7-year-old girls. Fast forward 20 plus years, and I was stuck in an endless cycle of diet, fail, repeat. Going to bed every night hating myself for having messed up, promising that tomorrow would be different, or after vacation, or after the holidays, or after my birthday, or whatever time the stars were going to finally magically align and I would finally stick to my perfect diet and exercise program. At 34 years old, I decided to have weight loss surgery. I was terrified that if I didn't do something drastic, I was going to have to be wheeled out of my house on a stretcher by my 40th birthday. I was 328 pounds, and I was trapped in a body that was not allowing me to live the life that I wanted to live. So again, with the help of weight loss surgery, and then committing to CrossFit 5 to 6 days a week, doing every diet, paleo, keto, counting calories, macros, all of the things, I completely transformed my life, but myself and my body from the inside out. But this is what my body looked like, naked. This is from a post I wrote back in 2014 called 10 Plus Reasons I Love My Ugly Body. That post went viral, front page of Reddit, site down for weeks. It was a crazy experience, but it brought me into this community of amazing women who commented on my post and were like, you have lipedema. Do you know what lipedema is? Have you ever heard of lipedema? I think you have lipedema. And I was like, I just thought I always had big legs, right? Turns out they were right. And then I got pregnant. Something that I never thought would happen because I had dealt with infertility, PCOS, all of that fun stuff. I got pregnant. I was actually pregnant 3 times. The first pregnancy ended in miscarriage. That pregnancy, I was only pregnant for 6 weeks and I gained 20 pounds. Before I had a positive pregnancy test, I knew something was different. My whole body composition changed. I was still doing CrossFit 5 to 6 days a week. My arms were ripped, my legs, not so much on the outside, but everything changed overnight, and I knew something was not right. After my 2 successful pregnancies, my body was again now worse than it was before. I had the painful bruising, my kids sitting on my lap hurt, and that was heartbreaking. So in 2019, I had the opportunity to go to Dr. Herp's office. It was a total fluke situation. I didn't get to meet with her, but I did get to meet with one of her nurse practitioners who gave me an official diagnosis, recommended the Mediterranean diet, and said that I was a good candidate for surgery. I didn't know if I wanted to have surgery. I had 2 little boys, 2 and less than 4 years old. My life was very busy, and I had children to take care of. But I realized that, or at least I believed, and I still believe this, that if I didn't do the surgeries, that my body would get worse with menopause. I had seen what it had done to my body through my pregnancies. And for me, it was about quality of life, making sure that my body was in the best shape it was capable of being in for myself and for my children. So I had 6 lipedema surgeries with Dr. Bird here in Atlanta, where she removed 30 pounds of fat and fluid. And that was between August of 2020 and December of 2020. So in 4 months, I had 6 surgeries to try to get them in before. Yeah, crazy, right? It was an intense 4 months, let me tell you. There were many times when I wanted to give up, but my insurance covered it, and I needed to get it done before the end of the year. Otherwise, I'd have to go through the whole process again. I was very, very fortunate. This is my life these days. I have my 2 little boys who are now 7 and 9 years old. I live a very active lifestyle. I work out regularly. I take Wegovy to manage my weight and inflammation. And for those of you who are considering it, I can tell I'm really bad about taking it every week. If I go a couple of weeks without taking it, I can feel the heaviness and swelling. So not to like sell you on it, but it really, for me, and based on a lot of conversations that I've had this weekend, is definitely something to consider. And I make sure that I am giving my body what it needs in order to survive. I have created a very special relationship with my body. I like to think of it as a newborn baby that is completely dependent on me to take care of it. It cannot get its own water, it cannot get its own exercise, it cannot get its own food. I have to do that for my body, and I recognize that I am the one that's responsible for making that happen. So I have 5 non-negotiable habits that honor myself, my body, and my goals. I say this, and I have loved these talks today because everyone has come up here with a very similar message of figuring out what works for you and focusing on taking care of yourself. So I don't feel like I'm saying anything novel. This is just my personal story and what works for me, and I hope you'll consider it as well. So our body's first requirement for survival is oxygen. We know that, right? Like, we can't survive without oxygen. So one of the things that I make sure I do every day is get outside and get fresh air, which I work from home. It's very easy to get distracted, not ever step outside. So what I try to do is in the mornings when I make my coffee, I go stand on my front porch and I just take some deep breaths, and I make sure first thing in the morning I'm getting fresh air, my body's getting some extra oxygen, and I am setting myself up for the first habit being met. Hydration. So our body's second requirement for survival is hydration. If we're not hydrated, we die. So I always, I don't know if you've seen me walking around, my mouth is so dry right now, but my water bottle's right there. But I keep a water bottle with me at all times. All times, I always have my water bottle with me. I drink one cup of coffee a day, and I limit alcohol. If I am drinking alcohol, I always have oh, you're amazing, thank you. I always have water to pace myself and make sure that I'm staying hydrated. Of course, I limit alcohol as well, but water is the most important. And then food. We've heard this past weekend all of these diets, so many different ways of eating that work for people. And that's what it is. It's about figuring out what works for you. And for me, at this point in my life, this may change. Right now, as long as I focus on eating mindfully, eating when I'm hungry, stopping when I'm satisfied, honoring my hunger cues, eating foods that nourish my body most of the time, while also eating foods for pleasure some of the time, allows me to feel in control, which is something that we don't get when we're on a super restrictive diet. We can feel like we don't get to make decisions for ourselves. It just allows me to feel good physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I never have to regret a food choice because I allow myself to enjoy all of the foods that I eat. And then there's rest. We're not always good at getting rest, right? And especially if you are perimenopausal or menopausal, struggling with sleep, super fun. But I still try really hard to make sure that I get 7 hours of sleep because I know that my body needs it, and more importantly, my brain needs it. If I'm going to make good choices the next day, I need to make sure that my brain is well rested. Then there's shelter. At the very foundation of our body's requirements, this is about temperature regulation, making sure that we don't freeze to death and we don't overheat. We're all probably pretty good at doing that, so I take this the next step and make sure that I also have a strong, capable body, working out, exercising, moving my body, and it's, again, whatever works for you, whatever you enjoy, is what matters, right? A body in motion stays in motion. So if you can move your body, move it however you can. And then seek medical attention. Like, there's been a lot today about you have to advocate for yourself. Don't take no for an answer. If you go to a doctor and they dismiss your concerns, find another doctor. You are responsible for your body, for yourself. You are worth fighting for. Back in the before times when I was stuck in that shame spiral of beating myself up every night when I went to sleep, tomorrow I'll do better, tomorrow I'll do better, I really thought that shame was going to be the right motivator. It turns out I was super wrong. I know, it's crazy, right? Like, you can't shame yourself into making different choices, because as Brené Brown says, shame is a destructive emotion that corrodes the belief we are capable of change. And that is something that I have learned, hands down, 100%. No shame does not ever work in my favor. So I created this 4-step, 5-step process for creating a self-improvement with self-love. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. Thank you for being patient. So the thing that I learned first and foremost when I started on this life-changing journey was that I had to forgive myself. I couldn't continue shaming myself into trying to change. So I acknowledge, I apologize, and accept when I feel like I've let myself down. Then I moved to curiosity, not judgment, which is what I used to do before, right? Anytime I'd mess up a diet or I wouldn't go to the gym or whatever it was that I had done to let myself down, I'd be like, you suck, Andrea, like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you get this right? Why can't you do it the way you should do? But once I moved to curiosity, like, why didn't I go to the gym today? Oh, because I was too tired. Well, why was I tired? Because I stayed up too late last night. Then I was able to move to solutions, right? Like, once you forgive yourself and you calm yourself and you're more present, you're able to see things from a different perspective. And then I could say, okay, it's a pretty simple solution, go to bed earlier, right? Like, it's a pretty, like, a no-brainer. The biggest thing here, though, is that anytime we want to create a new habit or create self-improvement, we have to be willing to practice. We have to be willing to do the work, to expect trial and error, and to be patient, and to let go of perfection. We have to be willing to practice, adapt, and repeat. Because even if we figure out something that's working for us right now, 5 years from now, 5 months from now, it may not be the right solution for us. To expect perfection is to create failure. And that is what we need to avoid, right? We deserve far better than that. We deserve to love ourselves, to care for our bodies, and to live a happy and healthy, imperfect life. I want to share something that I wrote called the Body Love Manifesto. I wish that I had this memorized, but I don't. It's a little long, but this is how I feel about my body, and it's how I hope all of you feel about yourselves and your bodies as well. So this is called the Imperfect Life Body Love Manifesto. This is my body. It is mine. My body is where I live. It is my home for life. No matter where I am, it is mine, all mine. And no one in the world can take it from me or call it their own. It works hard for me every day. Without my body, I wouldn't be alive. My body is an amazing machine. It is made up of approximately 36 trillion cells, all working together to survive. My body may get sick or injured or even damaged, but I know that it's always doing its best to keep me alive. If something isn't right, I will seek medical attention. I am committed to fighting for answers and seeking solutions if my concerns are dismissed. My body is not my enemy. It is a living, breathing, aging, ever-changing specimen that is worthy of my love, time, patience, and effort. I will not fight with it, but I will fight for it, no matter the number on the scale or the size of my genes. My body is dependent on me. It needs me to take care of it so that it can take care of me. I must make sure it gets water, fresh air, nutritious food, enough rest, and movement to keep it strong and capable of allowing me to live the life that I want to live. My body is made up of genes that I cannot control. It was created by generations that came before me. I cannot change my body's genetic makeup, but I can choose how I respond to it. I accept the challenges that are out of my control and am proactive in managing the things that I can. I am me, and I will not compare myself or my body to others. There is only one of me. No one else in this world has the same combination of ingredients that make me me. No one has the same DNA, same lived experiences, the same thoughts or feelings. I am not my body. It has no bearing on my value or self-worth. It is a collection of cells that build my bones, my blood, and my organs. Cells that are constantly regenerating so that I can go on living. It does not define who I am. It is simply the container that holds all of my parts. My body is a part of me. It is not all of me. It is the vessel that lets me move through life. It allows me to experience my environment and connect with others through sight, smell, touch, taste, and sound. My body allows me to go places, to do things, and show others love through my actions and my words. My body is my most valuable possession. Not because it's perfect, but because without it, I wouldn't be alive. It fights for me and the life I live every single day. It will continue to fight until it can't fight anymore. And I will do the same for it. I promise that I will be kind to my body, that I will take care of my body, that I will not be ashamed of my body. I will use my body to connect with others. I will not disparage or deprecate it. I will forgive my body when it lets me down. I will celebrate it for keeping me alive. I will honor it. I will appreciate it. I will do all of this because my body deserves to be loved by me. Today and every day, I am choosing to love my body. And I hope you will do the same.